Welcome back to our class. Again, this is Teacher Kina, and for today, we'll continue our topic fractions. All right, but now we're going to discuss adding and subtracting like or similar fractions. Okay, so our objectives, we're going to learn how to add and subtract like or similar fractions. What are like and similar fractions again? They are the fractions whose denominators are all the same, like 1/8, 3/8, 2/8, and 5/8. You see here, their denominators are all the same. It's all 8, 8, 8, 8. They're all equal. That's why they're called like fractions. They are all like fractions, the same. So it's the similar or like fractions. How about dissimilar or unlike? They are the opposite. Denominators are not the same. Okay, like 1/5, 3/7, 2/3, and 5/9. You see their denominators are not the same. They're different, like 5, 7, 3, and 9. They're not the same. That's why they're called dissimilar or unlike fractions. Okay, here we will use like and unlike fractions. Okay, so it's better for you because it's more common. So we will use like and unlike fractions. But for you to know, like, because others use similar and dissimilar fractions. So just for you to know, when we say similar, they are the like fractions, and dissimilar are the unlike fractions. All right, the second objective is we will also learn how to convert improper answers to a mixed number, and we will learn also how to reduce answers to the lowest term. Okay, you see here, if your answer is an improper fraction, you should always convert it to a mixed number or change it to mixed number, because we cannot accept improper answers. I mean, improper fraction answers that are in proper fraction. The best answer is you should change it to a mixed number to get your final answer. And if your answer is not in the lowest term, you should always reduce it. Though your answer is correct, but you're not gonna get a full mark. But if you want to get a full mark, then you should know how to reduce it to the lowest term. Always reduce your answers to the lowest term. All right? So here I'm going to teach you how to convert your answers um, to get your final answers. Okay. So the keywords we're going to use in this lesson. Okay. First here, numerator. We know that already. The number above the line in a fraction. Denominator, it is the number below. Okay. Like fractions, they are the fractions whose denominators are the same. And unlike fractions are the fractions whose denominators are not the same. Okay, this is what we've discussed a while ago. Add, when we say add, that means to put together to calculate their total value. Put together, like the 5 plus 4. Plus is a symbol of addition, add. So 5 plus 4, that is addition. We put the numbers together. 5 plus 4 equals 9. And 9 here is the sum. That is number 6. The answer we get in addition is called sum. Right? So 9 here is the sum. Same thing with subtraction. When we subtract, it's the opposite way of addition. When we subtract, we put together, but when we add, we put together, but when we subtract, we take away from another to calculate the difference. Okay, you take away. Okay, like here, 5 minus. Okay, you see here, the plus sign is now in minus. Minus is a symbol for subtraction. So the answer of that is called the difference. Okay, so the answer of subtraction is called the difference. So in here, the difference is 1. Okay, the difference of 5 and 4 is 1. Now the last keyword is lowest term. Lowest term, we have discussed this one in our previous lesson, and we learned how to reduce fractions to the lowest term. And when we say lowest term, that means the simplest form of a fraction. How will you know, or how will you get the lowest term, or how will you reduce a fraction to the lowest term? By dividing it until you cannot divide it any further. So when a fraction cannot be divided any further, then that means it's already it's in their lowest term. Okay, how are you going to divide? Use factors. Okay, so if you forgot about reducing fractions into lowest term, then you better go back and review our previous lessons about reducing fractions into lowest term. But anyway, in this lesson, we're still discussing, and I'm going to refresh you every time of the topics that we've been discussed last time. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, here, as I've said in this lesson, we will learn how to add and subtract similar fractions, okay, or like fractions. Okay, this is the best about fractions whose denominators are equal, or like fractions, because they are so much easy to add and subtract. Okay, so like what we have here, 5/10 plus 4/10. How are you going to answer that? Just copy the denominator here. You see the denominators are both 10, so you copy that on your answer, denominator 10, and then for the numerator you just add. Okay, so it's 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 equals 9. So your answer is 9/10. Easy, yeah. We don't need to stay here longer. Okay, but as soon as you get your answer, here are the what do you call this? 2 points you need to remember. Answer should not be an improper fraction. Okay, is 9/10 an improper fraction? What is improper fraction again? Improper fraction are fractions whose numerator is greater than the denominator. So in here, 9 is lesser than your denominator. So that means your fraction is improper. Okay, it's in proper fraction. So it's correct. It's a proper fraction. So now our key point number 1 is correct. It's checked, then not a problem. Next, always be in lowest term. Is 9/10 in lowest term? Let's see. Can you divide any factors to 9 that can also be divided to 10? Can we divide 9 with 2? No, because there's remainder. Remember, if you reduce fractions to the lowest term, that means you're going to divide it, right? When you divide, there should be no remainder. No remainder allowed. So, since we cannot divide 9/10 any further, cannot be divided to 5, 3, 2, 1, then that means that is already in the lowest term. Okay, what are proper fractions? This is, I've already told you a while ago. Proper fractions, numerator is lesser or smaller than the denominator. So that's the proper fraction. You see, 1/2, 1/4, 3/4. The numerators are smaller than their denominators. How about the improper fraction? Is the opposite of proper fraction. Their numerators is bigger than their denominator. Like here, 5 is bigger than 2, so it's improper. So if your answer is like this, that cannot be accepted. Though it's correct, but you're not gonna get a full mark. That means if your answer is in improper fraction, that means you still have to do something to get the final answer. All right? So to get your final answer, you need to convert it into a mixed fraction. Okay, if your answer is improper, you need to convert it into a mixed fraction. Okay, don't be confused. Anyway, we will discuss this one further later, how to convert. But we already discussed this one last time. But anyway, if you forgot, I'm going to review it a little bit here, so you'll be refreshing. Okay. So a mixed fraction has a whole number and a fraction. That is why it's called mixed, because it's not only a fraction, but there is also a whole number. So your final answer should look like this. If it's not a proper fraction, if it's an improper fraction, then you have to convert it into a mixed fraction. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, since your answer here is 9/10, it is a proper fraction, correct? And it's in lowest term. All right, so that's our final answer. Now, how will you know if your answer is in the lowest term or in simplest form? When the numerator is 1. Okay, numerator is 1, that means your answer is already in the lowest term, like 1/2, 1/5, 1/3, 1/10, 1/8. You see their numerators are all 1. Then that means if your answers are like this, the numerators are 1 already, then that means you are already in the lowest term. Okay. Now next, how are you going to know if your answer is already in the lowest term? You cannot divide any further. That means you cannot find any factors to divide your answer. How will you know if what factor to use? That means the number that you can divide to the numerator and the denominator that is no remainder in it. Okay, when you divide that number, like for example 9 divided by 3, the answer is 3 and there is no remainder. That means 3 is a factor of 9. Okay. Another example is 10. What is a factor of 10? Factors of 10 could be 5. Why? Because 10 divided by 5 equals 2 and there is no remainder. So that means 5 can still be divided by 10 can be divided by 5. Another factor of 10 is 2. Why? Because 10 divided by 2 is 5 and there is no remainder. So that's how you're going to find factors in reducing your fractions to lowest term. You look for a number that you can divide to your numerator and denominator that where there is no remainder in it. Okay, so that's how to find a factor. Okay, when dividing, there should be no remainder allowed. Okay, that's what I'm telling you a while ago. All right, so in here, just to refresh us of how to find the lowest term, let's see if we can identify fractions in lowest term in here. Okay, 4/10, is this in lowest term? What do you think? Okay, are there any factors we can use to 4 that can also be divided to 10? Yes, we can use 2 since both of them are even numbers. Remember, even numbers can be divided by 2. So since 4 and 10 are both even numbers, then we can use 2 in here. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that means the lowest term is 2/5. Okay, so that's not in lowest term. How about 1/2? As I've said, if your numerator is already in 1, then that is already in lowest term. Okay, how about 3/9? 3 can be divided by 3 and 9 divided by 3. Remember, whatever you divide above, what factor you use with your numerator, you use the same with the denominator. Okay, so the answer is 1/3. Okay, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So it's 1/3. The lowest term is 1/3. So 3/9 is not yet in lowest term. How about 5/8? Are there any factors you can divide to 5 that can also be divided to, that is also divisible to 8? 5 divided by what? 4? No. 3? No. There's remainder. 2? No. There's remainder. 1? No. But we can divide it by 5. But the problem is we cannot divide it by 5. We cannot divide 8 by 5. There is remainder in it. So that means there's no more factors we can use to 5/8. So 5/8 over here is already in the lowest term. Okay, if we cannot divide any further, then that means it's already in the lowest term. How about 5/20? Okay, it's very obvious. We can divide it to 5, 5 divided by 5, and 20 divided by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So you see the numerator is already 1, so that is in the lowest term. So here it's 1/2, 5/8, and 1/4. They are the fractions in lowest term in this group of fractions. All right, so I hope you are refreshed of how to find the lowest term. Okay, so let's proceed. Remember, divide until it cannot be divided any further. And when you divide, no remainders allowed. Because if there is a remainder, then that means that is not a factor. Okay, you will only divide factors. All right, now let's try. Okay, this one. It's That's done. Okay, find the sum of the following fractions. Okay, you see here we have again like fractions. And that, as I've said, when your fractions are like fractions, then you just copy their denominators. 25. 25, 25, then your denominator should be 25 also. Okay, now next you add the numerators. 13 plus 8 equals 21. So your answer here is 21 over 25. Now let's see our points in finding our final answer. It should not be an improper fraction. Is this an improper fraction? No, so that is correct. It's already checked. This is a proper fraction since 21 is smaller than 25 already. Now, always be in lowest term. Is this in lowest term? 21 and 25? Yes. So, that's correct. So that means this is our final answer, 21 out of 25, or 21 over 25, or 21 25. Okay, there's so much names for fractions. All right, now let's try 10. 10, 10. You see the denominators are the same again, so they are like fractions. Now what we're going to do with the like fractions, you copy the denominator 10. All right, now add 14 plus 13, remember, plus 27. Now your answer is 27 over 10. Answers could not be an improper fraction. Is this an improper fraction? Yes, it's an improper fraction and it says it could not be. Now if your answer is in an improper fraction, then you have to change it to a mixed number or convert it to mixed number. Okay, we cannot make an improper fraction to a proper fraction. We cannot do that. We cannot change this 10 over here and 27 below. We cannot do that. The only way we can do is to convert it into a mixed number. So if your answer is improper, then you need to change it to mixed number. Now, how are you going to change this to a mixed number? Okay, if the answer is an improper fraction, convert it to a mixed number. Okay, see, 27 is bigger than 10, then that's an improper fraction. How are you going to do that? There are two ways. You can use your mental calculation, or you can divide 27 divided by 10. So let's try calculating this using our minds only. Okay, how many tens are there in 27? So 1 10 is 10, 2 10s is 20, 3 10s, it's already 30. So that means we cannot have 3 10s in 27. So we'll have only 2 10s in there. So let's write over here, there are only two. There are only 2 10s in 27. Okay, so now that we got the whole number 2, how much is 2 10s? It's 20, right? Now we have here 27. So how much is the remainder? How much is lacking to get 27? It's 7, right? So 20 plus 7 is 27. Now for your denominator, you just copy the denominator 10. So that's the answer. You count how many tens are there in 27. There are 2 10s, and that's 20. So we need 7 to get 27. Then that's denominator, copy 10. 2 and 7 tenths. Okay, 7 tenths. All right, that's the first way I've said we can use our mental ability in finding, I mean in converting. But for those who cannot do it, you can divide it 27 divided by 10. Now the answer is 2. 2 times 10 is 20. Now minus 7 minus 0, of course 7, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So here you see that is our quotient, or that is the answer. That will be your whole number here. Okay? And your remainder, you have remainder 7, right? From here. Your remainder will be your numerator, and then your denominator is your divisor. Here, just copy the denominator in here. Okay, that is your denominator. Remember, your whole number is the quotient or the answer, and 7 in here, your numerator is the remainder. All right? Okay, let's proceed. Now let's try converting this into a mixed number. These fractions over here are improper fractions. Then we'll try to make this into a mixed number using our mental capacity. Okay. How many 4 are there in 6? How many 4s? 4, 8. Okay, 2 4 is already 8, so we cannot have 2 4s because it's just 6 in here. So it's 1. Now 1 4 is just 4, then we need how much more? 4, 5, 6. Okay, because the numerator is 6, so we need 2 more to get 6, and then copy the denominator 4. Okay, if we divide it like this, 6 divided by 4, then it's 1. 1 times 4 equals 4. 6 minus 4 equals 2. So the answer is 1, remainder 2. So here that is our whole number, and this is our numerator. Okay, whole number, numerator. And then copy the denominator from the given. Okay, how about 10/3? 3, 6, 9, 12. 4 3 is already 12, so we cannot have 4 3 in there. So we'll have just 3 threes. 3 threes. Okay, 3, 6, 9. 3 threes are just 9, and our numerator here is 10, so the remainder is 1. Okay, since that's just 9, 3, 6, 9, 9, 10. So the remainder is 1, and then copy 3. Then that's the lowest term. Okay, how about this? 17 over 5. Let's count. 17 over 5. 5, 10, 15. 3 5 is 15, 20, 4 4 5s. So since our numerator is just 17, so we'll just have 3 5s. So it's 5, 10, 15. So there's 3 5s, and 3 5s is only 15. So we need to get 2 more, right? So 15 plus 2 is 17. So 2 over 5. Easy, yeah? Okay, let's try the last one. How many 2 are there in 5? 2, 4, 6. Oops, it's too much. So just 2. There's just 2 2's in 5. So 2 2's is equal to 4. And we have here 5. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. So numerator is 1, denominator is 2. So it's 2 and 1 half. So that's how to reduce that's to convert improper fraction to a mixed number, right? So the sum of, we already answered this one a while ago, okay? So the answer in here is, how many tens are there in 27? There are 2 tens and 7 as numerator, and then copy the denominator 10, right? 27 divided by 10 is 2. 2 times 10 is 20. 27 minus 20 is 7. So it's 2 remainder 7. So this is the whole number and this is your numerator. Okay, whole number and the numerator. Now let's try another one. Oops. Okay, 2 and 7 tenths. So see, is it an improper fraction? No, it's not an improper fraction. It's already a mixed number, so that is checked. Always be in lowest term. Is it in lowest term? 7 tenths. No more factors, so that is already in lowest term. All right, now let's try another one. The denominator here is 24. So copy the denominator 24 in your answer. And then 5 plus 3 equals 8. Now, our answer is 824. Is it an improper fraction? No, it's not an improper fraction, so that's already checked. Is it in the lowest term? Is it in the lowest term? Not yet, because we can actually divide 8 and 24 since they are both even number. We can divide them into 2, right? So factors could be 2. We can also divide 8 by 4. How about 24? Yes, we can use factor 4 also. How about 8? We can also use the factor 8 because 8 divided by 8 is 1 and 24 divided by 8 is 3. How about 4? 8 divided by 4 is 2 and 24 divided by 4 is 6. Could be. So that means either of these we can use it to reduce a fraction to the lowest term. But here, the tip is if you want to go directly to the answer, use the biggest, the largest factor that you can use. Okay, in here we can have 2, 4, 8, but since 8 is the greatest, so we'll use 8. Okay, since 8 is the biggest factor, then we use 8 in here. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 24 divided by 8 is 3. So that means the lowest term is 1/3. Okay, so let's try reducing this using factors 2, 4, or more. Let's see if we'll get the same answer. Okay, 8 over 24. Okay, 8 over 24. Now let's try 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now 24 divided by 2 is 12. Okay, you see here 4/12 is not yet in the lowest term since we can divide this into 2, right? Or we can divide it into 4 even. Okay, let's try 2. Let's just try 2. Let's see if we will get the same answer as here above. Okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Not yet in the lowest term since we can still divide this into 2, right? So 2 again. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Is that in the lowest term? Yes, because the numerator is already 1. So see, we get the same answer. Whatever factor you use, whatever whichever way you go, as long as you do this the correct concept, you do this the you use the correct factor in reducing the fraction, then you get the same answer. Whatever way you use, as long as you get the same answer, then your answer is correct. All right. Okay. So here we see we get the answer 1/3. So 1/3 is our final answer, and it's not an improper fraction, and it's in the lowest term already. Okay, see? It's easy, right? Now let's try this. A lot of 24 in here. Okay, in here we have 4 factors, but, 4 fractions, but they are all like fractions. So let's see if we can do this. The denominator is 24 because you see the denominator is 24 over here. So we'll just copy the denominator 24. Now 5 plus 4 equals 9. 9 plus 7 equals 16. 16 plus 3 equals 19. So our answer is 19 over 24. Okay, is it in an improper fraction? No, it's a proper fraction. And is it in the lowest term? Yes, it's in the lowest term. How will you know if it's in the lowest term? We cannot divide any factors. We cannot find any factors that is divisible to 19 and also divisible to 24 anymore. So that's in the lowest term already. All right. Now we're done with addition. Now let's proceed with subtraction. Okay, again, subtraction, that means we will take away, or we will minus. And the answer is difference. So when we're looking for the difference, that means we're talking about subtraction or minus. Okay, so see here, we have the symbol minus since we're looking for the difference. So in finding the difference of like fractions, we do the same with the denominator. 10 is the denominator in here, so we'll just copy that. So there's 10 as our denominator, and then we will minus the numerators. 5 minus 4 equals 1. So our answer is 1/10. Okay, now we do the same in checking our answer. Our answer could not be an improper fraction. It's not an improper fraction, then let's check. And is it in the lowest term? Yes, the numerator is 1. It's already in the lowest term. So that's our final answer. Easy, right? Yeah, how about this? Denominators are 25, so let's just copy 25 as our denominator. Now 13 minus 8 is 5. So we got here 5. Now let's see if our answer is already final. Is it an improper fraction? No, it's not improper fraction, so let's check. Is it in lowest term? Is 5/25 in lowest term? Not yet. It's pretty obvious we can divide it to 5, right? So let's try in here. Oops. 5 divided by 5. and 25 divided by 5. 5 as the factor. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So our answer is 1/5. Now 1/5 is already in lowest term since the numerator is already 1. So 1/5. So that means 5/25 is equal to 1/5. All right. So that is our final answer. Let's see if it's correct. Is it an improper fraction? It's not an improper fraction, then that's correct. Is it in lowest term? Yes, it's in the lowest term. So that's our final answer. Let's try another one. 5 as the denominator here, so we'll just copy 5. 33 minus 10 equals 23, obviously. All right, now that's our answer. Is it our final answer? Let's see. Could not be an improper fraction. Is our answer an improper fraction? Yes, 23 is bigger than 5, so it's an improper fraction. That means we still have to change our answer. We have to convert it into a mixed number. If your answer is improper, you need to convert it to mixed number. Okay, so we're gonna do it here. Okay, like what we did in our earlier in this lesson, to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, we need to find how many denominators are there in numerator. So how many 5s are there in 23? So let's count. 1 5 is 5, 2 5 is 10, 3 5 is 3 5s is 15, 4 5s is 20, 5 5s is 25. 25 is too much because we just have 23. We only have 23 here. So we cannot have 5, 5. So our whole number here is 4. And 5, 4 is only 20, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. It's only 20. So we need to get 3 more to get 23. So the remainder 3 is our numerator, and then copy the given denominator 5 as our denominator. So that's our final answer. Now let's try to divide if we got the same answer. Okay, for those who cannot divide mentally, then you can do this. 23 divided by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Cannot, so just 4. There are only 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 23 minus 20 is 3. So remainder 3. Again, the quotient is our whole number. And then our remainder is our numerator. So we got the same answer. Okay, so that means our answer is 4 and 3/5. Then that's our final answer. Let's check it one more time. Is it an improper fraction? No, it's not an improper fraction because it's already a mixed number. Is it in lowest term? 3/5 is in lowest term. Correct. So that's our final answer. Okay, let's try another one. Denominator is 24, so we'll copy 24. Now 20 minus 4 is 16. Is that our final answer? That could not be an improper fraction. Yes, it's not an improper fraction. So it's check. Always be in lowest term. Is it in lowest term? You see 16 and 24 are even numbers, so that means we can still divide this into 2, right? So let's see. Factors of 16 and 24, we could use 2 because they are both even numbers. We can also use 4, right? 16 divided by 4 is 4. 24 divided by 4 is 8. I mean, 6. Sorry. We can also use 8 as factor in here. 16 divided by 8 is 2, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. So which one would you like to use here? Okay, as the tip, I've told you a while ago, use factors with greater value. Okay, the greatest here is 8, so we'll use 8. 16 divided by 8 is 16 divided by 8 is 2, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. So it's 2/3. So 16 over 24 is equals to 2/3. They are equivalent fractions. Okay, so that means the lowest term of 16 over 24 is 2/3. All right, so that's all for today. See you on our next lesson. Bye.